Sherik sherik yenten Sheyin rikpi yenten
Dashin lok tu tulu Meta maybe norbu Sherik yenten ino Dashin lok tu tulu Meta maybe norbu Sherik yenten
Kuzangpola to all the listeners across the country. This is Kezang Choden from Alekha Primary School. This radio program is to reach to all the children across the nation. The lesson for today is for class 3, lesson number 4, and the topic for today is 3D shapes. I assume that you have your seam, pencil and eraser right in front of you. So let's get started. You have already learned about 3D shapes in lower classes. You have also learned some of examples in class 2. But today we will learn about it in detail. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to name and describe 3D shapes based on their attributes. Attributes like faces, edges and corners. So, open to page 10 to get started. Are you on that page 10? Very good. Introduction says, 3D shapes are three-dimensional shapes that occupy space. The three dimensions are the length, the width, and the height. We should remember that 2D has only two dimensions. So that's why it is called 2D. Now, coming back to 3D, one example is given with picture and labeling. And this shape is called rectangular prism. And it has three dimensions, that is length, width and height. Did you see that example? Yes. So, these are the dimensions. We can also describe 3D shapes based on their attributes such as faces, edges and vertices. Like in 2D shape, we have sides and corner. In 3D shapes, we have faces, edges, vertices. You can see in the picture pointed by an arrow which part of shape is vertex, which part of shape is face and which part of shape is edge. You can clearly see in the picture. A vertex is the point where three or more edges meet. This shape has 8 vertices. You can count it yourself. Yes, it has 8 vertices. Now, a face is a flat surface of a shape, and this shape has 6 faces. And another attribute is edge. An edge is a line along which two faces meet, and this shape has 12 edges. You can count the line along which two faces meet. So these are the attributes of 3D shapes. Now let's look into some other examples of 3D shapes. First one is a prism. Are you on that page? Page 11. So some examples of 3D shapes is given. So first one is a prism. A prism is a 3D shapes with two congruent and parallel polygonal bases which are joined by rectangular faces. You know that congruent means identical in form. Yes, congruent means identical in form, and parallel means line or surface side by side having same distance continuously between them. So prism is the shape when congruent parallel bases are joined by rectangle, as you can see in this picture. So you can see rectangle faces that join the two congruent polygonal bases. then prisms are named according to their bases. This shape has rectangular bases, so it is called rectangular prism. So just now, example is rectangular prism on prism. Now let's look another example of 3D shape, that is a pyramid. Below the prism, you can see a pyramid is given. A pyramid is a 3D shape that has one polygonal base and triangular faces that join at a point called the apex. Example is also given here. You can see picture. Triangular faces that join the two congruent polygonal bases with an arrow. So triangular faces, you can see that. You can also see the apex on the top with an arrow shown. Pyramids are also named according to their base. This shape has a rectangular base. Can you see rectangular base here in this picture? So it is called rectangular pyramid. So remember that pyramid will have apex, pointed tip or top. That's why it is called apex. Just now the picture has rectangular base. So that's why this pyramid is rectangular pyramid. So this is all about pyramid. Now another example of 3D shape is a cylinder. Did you see cylinder? A cylinder is a 3D shape that has two identical circular bases. So you can see in the picture, this shape, cylinder, has two circular bases, top and bottom. An arrow is also shown here, two circular bases. A cylinder is not a prism. It does not have polygonal bases. In earlier, we have learned about prism, isn't it? So you should remember that cylinder is not a prism. Why? Because it does not have polygonal bases. It does not have rectangular faces. So cylinder is totally different from prism. So this is all about cylinder. Now let's look into the last example of our 3D shape, that is a cone. Can you see a cone below cylinder? Okay, a cone is a 3D shape that has one circular base and an apex. Yes, a cone is a 3D shape that has only one circular base and an apex. In earlier topic, we have learned about a pyramid, and we have learned that pyramid has apex. So you can see that a cone has one apex and one circular base. So that's how cone is drawn. You can easily see here. A cone is not a pyramid. Yes, it is not a pyramid. It does not have a polygonal base. In earlier we have learned about pyramid, and pyramid has polygonal base, but cone has circular base. Yes, pyramid, polygonal base. Cone, circular base. So cone is different from pyramid, and it does not have triangular faces like pyramid. So cone has smooth faces, whereas pyramid has triangular faces. So that's the difference between pyramid and cone. Though they look similar, but they are different, pyramid and cone. Okay, so that's all about 3D shape. We have learned about prism, pyramid, cylinder and cone. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have learned 4 examples of 3D shapes. Now let's do our activity. Can you turn to page number 12? We have 2 activities here. So activity 1. Let's look into activity 1. Name the following prisms and pyramids. The first one is done for you. So the instruction says, picture is given. So you just have to look at the picture and you have to write the name of those pictures or shapes. They are either prisms or pyramids. And the first one is done for you. First one is triangular prism. And the B, C, D. A is already done for you. So B, C and D, you have to do it by yourself. So this is all about activity 1. Now let's go to activity 2. Activity 2 is also very simple because you just have to count it. So activity 2 says, complete the table below. The the first one is done for you. Can you see it? Can you see the table? Okay, good. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shapes are given here with the names, like we have rectangular pyramid, triangular prism, triangular pyramid, cylinder and cone. So these shapes are given. You just have to count number of edges, number of vertices, number of rectangular faces, number of triangular faces. And the example is already done for you. One example. Look at rectangular pyramid, question A. So, rectangular pyramid has 8 edges. So, number 8 is written. It has 5 vertices. So, 5 written. It has 1 rectangular face. So, only 1 written. Then it has 4 triangular faces. So, 4 written. So, you just have to count the edges, vertices, faces and fill up the table. Very simple, isn't it? So, this is all about activity 2. Now, go to the last activity, that is on page 13, and the activity is self-check for learning. As the word itself says, self-check for learning means it is to check how much you have understood or to check your learning. So, the question says, write 2 differences between a cone and a rectangular pyramid. So, you have to write the differences between cone and rectangular pyramid. So, already table is drawn for you. You just have to fill up cone and pyramid. You just have to write 2 differences in each table. And after that, you see that you have a dialog box which is upside down. And you know that it is the answer for all the activities and self-check for learning. So, you have to cross-check your answers at the end and see whether you have got the correct answer or not. But please, again, I'm always reminding, please don't look at this answer before the activity. Look at it at the end of activity. So that's it for today, my dear kids. I hope you have understood what is 3D shapes, how to describe and name 3D shapes based on their attributes. So that's it. Keep washing your hand. Stay home, stay safe. See you in next lesson. Bye.
Şerik şerik yenten Şeyin rikbi yenten
Dajin lop tu tulu Meta me binurbu Shirik yenten ino Dajin lop tu tulu Meta me binurbu